Muslims live in Indonesia, in Pakistan, India, and Kashmir. 30%. 15% live in Indonesia. 15% live in sub-Saharan Africa. Okay, and then the rest smattering live in other countries. The rest 15%. Now, most people don't know that the largest Muslim country in the world is Indonesia. It's about 202 Muslims. Okay, larger than all the Muslims living in the Arab world, with the exclusion of Egypt. Okay, yeah. Now, in terms of number, Indonesia is the #1 Muslim-dominated country in the world. It's about 200 of them. Second is Pakistan. It's about 174. Now, the third, surprisingly, most people don't know, is India, with 160 million Muslims.
Living in India.
In India, yeah. More than those in the Arab world except Egypt, okay? Yeah. You see, 160 million in India. Then in Bangladesh, you have about 145 million in Bangladesh. In Nigeria, you have about 60 to 70 million Muslims in Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
That's correct. See, most people don't know
that. Yeah, that's
most
right.
people don't know this. Yeah. So you put all these numbers together, you see that majority of Muslims are not living in the Middle East. They are not Arabs, you see. So, but whenever we hear about Muslims or Muslim terrorists, our head goes to the Arab world, forgetting that most Muslims do not live there. China has about 20 million Muslims. A group called the Uyghurs in China. Some of them were arrested and detained at Guantanamo Bay. Yeah. They are Muslims. The Uyghurs, predominantly about 20 million Chinese are Muslims. People don't know that. About 16 million Russians are Muslims. Yeah, the Russian province of Chechnya, where they were fighting before, yeah, they are predominantly Muslim. Most people don't know that. Yeah, so a whole lot of Muslims do not live in the Middle East. In fact, in the Middle East, the largest Muslim-dominated countries are Iran and Turkey. In Africa, it's Egypt and Nigeria. Okay, so you see that the Islamic faith predominantly is not really in the Middle East. But because of the political aspect of Islam, the Middle East becomes a focal point of Islamic, terrorism and Islamic, activism. The Palestinian problem, the Iraqi war, the Iranian problem, all these accentuate, our thinking that all Muslims
live in
exactly live in the Middle East, not knowing that that's not so. Most of them are not in the Middle East. And that is why a lot of the Islamic countries get offended when we lump them together as if they are all terrorists. But the political dimension of terrorism today is what really, accentuating the fact that people are thinking of the Arabs and Islam as the main, terrorist group. For example, Bin Laden's group, Al-Qaeda, is predominantly a Sunni, dominated group. The Shiites, like the Shiites in Iran and all the rest in Lebanon, are opposed to Bin Laden because of, the Shiites.
So we put them all, everybody together.
But we bunch them together. People don't understand that, and that's what happened when we were accusing Saddam Hussein of being, friends with Al-Qaeda and all this. But people don't understand that Al-Qaeda is against Saddam Hussein because Saddam Hussein is a secular leader. He doesn't believe in any religion dominating anything. In fact, under his government, Iraq was a secular government. And people need to understand that, you see. So that's very important here, that all Muslims are not supporters of Bin Laden, because of particularly the Shiites.
And of course, Dr. LMadu, we're coming to the end of this second segment, and I'm almost reluctant to stop it because I know that we're coming up to the third segment. But let's stop it there, and then we'll come back for the final segment. And we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. Politics and terrorism.